Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu, the man who taught Nigeria how to move. Some entrepreneurs build companies. Others build systems, cultures, and legacies. Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu belonged firmly in the second category. Long before billionaire became a fashionable label in post-colonial Africa, Ojukwu had already mastered the art of seeing opportunity where others saw obstacles. From the dusty roads of eastern Nigeria to boardrooms that shaped the nation's commercial future, his life reads like a masterclass in vision, grit, and unapologetic ambition. Born trading, wired for scale. Hailing from Nui, Anambra State, a town that would later earn global respect as one of Africa's most entrepreneurial communities, Sir Louis was immersed early in commerce. Trading was not a career choice in Nui, it was a cultural inheritance. What set Ojukwu apart was his instinct for scale. While many traded goods, he traded in movement, of people, produce, and possibilities. He understood a timeless truth: control transport, and you control commerce. That insight would change everything. Series Introduction. It's Monday, the 9th of February 2026. Welcome to the 117th edition of The Entrepreneur. In this series we celebrate the life and entrepreneurial journey of Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu, the man who taught Nigeria how to move. If you are visiting us for the first time, please subscribe, smash the like button, share this video and help us grow our family. If you have already subscribed, then show your support by liking the video and making a comment. Now let's jump right back in. From roads to riches, building a transport empire. Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu's genius lay in spotting what most overlooked: Nigeria didn't just need traders, it needed movers. In the years leading up to and following independence, commerce was throttled by poor infrastructure, fragmented markets, and colonial-era transport systems designed to extract value, not circulate it. Ojukwu saw a gap wide enough to drive a fleet through. He founded Ojukwu Transport Company (OTC), at a time when indigenous participation in large-scale logistics was rare and risky. Roads were unreliable, spare parts scarce, and operational costs punishing. Yet where others saw chaos, Ojukwu saw first-mover advantage. Transport, he realized, was not a support service, it was the backbone of economic expansion. OTC quickly grew from a modest operation into a national transport powerhouse, moving passengers and goods across key commercial corridors. His buses linked traders to markets, workers to cities, and regions to one another. In doing so, Ojukwu didn't merely respond to demand, he created it, accelerating trade and mobility at a scale Nigeria had not previously experienced under indigenous ownership. What truly set him apart was his obsession with systems and discipline. Vehicles were maintained rigorously. Routes were planned strategically. Staff were trained, supervised, and held accountable. In an era when informality dominated, Ojukwu ran his transport business with near-military precision. Reliability became the brand. Trust became the currency. As OTC expanded, so did Ojukwu's influence. Control of transport meant insight into supply chains, pricing pressures, and regional consumption patterns. This intelligence allowed him to diversify confidently into other sectors, turning logistics profits into industrial leverage. Transport was not the endgame, it was the launchpad. By the early post-independence years, Ojukwu had transformed movement into money and infrastructure into influence, earning his place as Nigeria's first post-independence billionaire. His transport empire proved a radical point. Africans could build large, complex, capital-intensive businesses, and run them better than anyone expected. In retrospect, OTC was more than a fleet of buses. It was a declaration of economic self-belief on wheels. Capital with character. Wealth, for Ojukwu, was never just about accumulation. He invested across banking, real estate, textiles, cement, and agriculture, helping to lay the foundations of Nigeria's indigenous private sector. Yet his most underrated asset was his reputation. He was known for discipline, precision, and an insistence on standards, traits that earned him a knighthood and respect across political and ethnic lines. Powerful? Yes. Flashy? Never. Sir Louis embodied an older, sturdier version of success, quiet confidence backed by results. Nui, where entrepreneurship is a birthright. To understand Sir Louis is to understand Nui. Often called the Japan of Africa, Nui has produced generations of industrialists, traders, and manufacturers whose businesses span automotive parts, logistics, pharmaceuticals, and consumer goods. The town's secret sauce? Not just hustle, but structure. Apprenticeship as a fine art. Nui refined the Igbo apprenticeship system, Igba Boyi, into something close to genius. Young apprentices learn not from textbooks, but from immersion. How to buy and sell. How to manage risk. How to negotiate, adapt, and endure. At the end of the apprenticeship, the mentor settles the apprentice with capital, connections, and confidence. This is not charity. It is entrepreneurial reproduction. Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu exemplified this philosophy long before it was academically analyzed or globally praised. His success reinforced the idea that wealth multiplies when knowledge is shared. Mentorship, not gatekeeping. What Nui's sons and daughters perfected, and what Ojukwu's life symbolized, is a rejection of gatekeeping. Success is not hoarded, it is taught, tested, and transferred. This mentorship-driven capitalism has produced dense business networks, intergenerational resilience, a culture where failure is a lesson, not a life sentence. It is capitalism with a human spine. A legacy that still moves. Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu's legacy is not frozen in history, it is in motion. It lives in the rhythms of Nigerian commerce, in the confidence of indigenous enterprise, and in the quiet audacity of entrepreneurs who refuse to wait for permission to build. Long after his fleet stopped running, the ideas that powered them continue to travel. He demonstrated, at a critical moment in Nigeria's evolution, that large-scale, capital-intensive businesses could be owned, managed, and expanded by Nigerians. This was not symbolism, it was proof. In doing so, he shattered psychological ceilings inherited from colonial rule and replaced them with something far more dangerous to the status quo, belief backed by example. Beyond wealth, Ojukwu's enduring contribution was his insistence on structure. He showed that African entrepreneurship could be disciplined without losing its dynamism, ambitious without being reckless. His methods, systemization, long-term planning, reinvestment, and mentorship, became a quiet blueprint for generations of business leaders, especially across the Southeast. His influence is particularly visible in Nui, where industry, trade, and manufacturing continue to thrive on principles he embodied. The town's entrepreneurs did not merely inherit his success. They absorbed his philosophy: build patiently, train deliberately, and grow people as carefully as you grow capital. That mindset has turned local enterprise into global supply chains and family businesses into industrial powerhouses. Ojukwu also left behind a subtler legacy: dignity in success. He modeled wealth without excess, power without noise, and leadership without theatricality. In an era increasingly obsessed with visibility, his life reminds us that true influence does not announce itself, it endures. Today, every thriving logistics firm, every structured apprenticeship, and every indigenous conglomerate that stands confidently on Nigerian soil echoes his journey. Sir Louis Odumegwu Ojukwu did not merely move people from one destination to another, he moved an entire generation towards economic self-determination. And that is why his legacy still moves. Real wealth is built slowly, shared wisely, and sustained through people. And that, perhaps, is the greatest journey of all. If you would like to know more, or wish to discuss brand sponsorship of any of our videos on entrepreneurship, please get in touch on any of the social media handles below. All our content is developed from real-life experiences in a professional and entrepreneurial journey that spans across 8 countries and 4 decades. Quote of the week: if growth is faster than your controls, you're not scaling, you're gambling. Otunba Adekunle Ojora.